Today we're going to take a look at how to record audio from two mics straight into the camera. Hey, what's up guys, this is Marcos, and before we get started, I just want to say that if you're into video production and you want to learn how to build your brand with video, then you want to subscribe right now so you don't miss a thing. All right, so recently I got reached by a client and they asked me to record an interview, and they wanted two separate mics, one for the interviewer, one for the interviewee, and they wanted the audio to go straight into the camera because right after the shoot, they wanted that video file. So there was no time for post-processing, for sweetening the audio and color correcting, all that stuff. There was none of that because that video was just gonna be used internally. So what I needed to do is get really high quality audio straight into the camera and without having to sync the audio afterwards. So how do you do that? You do that with this DXA Micro Pro. Now, I've done a review on this. Check out the card for that video so you'll learn more about this little device. But basically what it does, it serves two purposes. It's a preamp, so it gives us better audio signals to record straight into our camera. That way we don't have to sync the audio afterwards. So if you're trying to get higher quality audio straight into the camera, you need something like this. The second thing it allows us to do is to get different mic inputs into this thing so we can record it to our camera. So essentially what we're gonna do today is, everything's falling apart. For this project that I'm working on, there's gonna be the interviewer. Hold on, everything's all tied up. Man, there we go. All right. So the interviewer is going to be holding this mic. This is an XLR mic, SM58 from Shure. There will be links in the description to everything I mentioned. Don't worry about that. So there's an XLR, and this DXA Micro Pro accepts XLR inputs. So the interviewer is going to be holding this. Now the interviewee, I have to mic him up with the lab mic. But in order to do that, I need an extension like this one. This is a female to male 3.5 millimeter extension. That way I can run this cable to the mic, to this lab mic, which will be connecting on this side. I connect this, and that way I can run it all the way to the interviewee, which he'll be probably a couple feet away from this camera. So we need that extension. That's very important. So once you have this lab mic, you hook it up to the extension. For this instance, I'm just gonna hook it up to, well, let me turn this around. So I'm going to connect the lab mic to the left channel because it'll be recording the audio to the left channel. And then the XLR will be recording to the right channel on the other side. So let me turn this around. Okay, so channel 1, let's call that the left channel, and channel 2 is the right channel. Right channel 2 is this XLR. Channel 1, this is the lab mic, all right? So now that we have that, you want to make sure that you have your settings correct. Now for this DXA Micro Pro, I don't need phantom power, so that's off. Phantom power would be for certain mics like, I don't know, certain like the Rocha NTG might need phantom power. This one, the Shure SM58 does not need phantom power, so that's off. And then the output, I set it to stereo. That way we can get two different mics being outputted in the audio, all right? If you set it to M, that's mono, only one channel. So you want to set it to S for stereo. All right. The next thing is to set our levels. First of all, I'm going to start with this Shure SM58. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to look at the channel number 2, which is this right channel actually. And as I talk to the microphone, I'm going to dial it back because it seems like I'm peaking there. I don't want it to touch the red bar. So I'm going to bring this down, bring it down a little bit more. Hello, this is Marcos. It went down too low. I think right there, it's at a good level. Actually, I had already set this, so it was supposed to be like that. And I want to make sure that it's high enough because if I go too low, then when I give the video file to the client, the audio will be too low. So it's okay if I go a little bit above the threshold, which is -12 to -6. This time, I want to peak around -3 or maybe -6. That way I can get that audio loud enough in case they use it internally. they don't have to turn up their speakers because there's not going to be any post-processing to this audio done afterwards. So it's okay if I maybe bring up the volume of this mic just a little bit more. Okay, now for this lap mic, I'm going to hook it up to my body. We're going to pretend like the interviewee has the same volume of my voice, and we're going to bring up the left channel. We're going to bring it up until it starts peaking, and that right there, it looks like right there, that's a good level. The other thing you can do is actually you go into your menu, go to the volume on the camera. This is a Sony a6300. And I set it to 5. You can set it to 1. That's up to you. But if you set it to 1, you have to bring up these knobs higher. Right now, it seems like my lab is actually a little bit too loud maybe. But this Shure SM58, actually, that's pretty good right there. If you hold it up to the mouth, it's fine. So the levels are set. Now I'm ready to hit record on this camera, and I can start capturing great audio straight into this mic and this lab. One will be on the left channel, one will be on the right, and yeah, hopefully that'll do it. So the reason you want to do something like this is when you don't have time for post-processing, or you want to avoid having to sync the audio afterwards for whatever the reason, whether it's time, budget, whatever the reason might be. This just speeds up your process. I know that for me, for my YouTube videos, now I record straight, well, I use this DXA Micro Pro to get good audio straight to the camera. That way I don't have to sync the audio afterwards. It's just a time saver. So I would highly recommend this little device. It's, you know, you can do a lot of things with it, and it's just, you know, it helps me focus on creating instead of focusing on the technical stuff. So that's why I love this thing. Guys, that does it for today's video. Please let me know if you have any questions, anything I wasn't clear about, or you know, anything you want to add to this. This is the way I'm doing it right now. I'm always open to learn if you know of a better way. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.